Hello everyone, my name is Khaled Siddiqui, and today I'm going to introduce to you the world's smallest Garmin GPS. This is how small this is. You could hold it in the fist of your hand. Now this may be the world's smallest car GPS, but it definitely is the smallest Garmin GPS. The screen is really small, nearly just a little bigger than an Apple Watch, as you can see, but it is bulky. So it's it's sticking out a little too much, defeating the purpose of being portable. And it takes the standard normal Garmin section cup, just like the ones we use for other GPS units. The standard. And it has some bells and whistles. Let's get started and see what this has to offer. Okay, so the first thing, the power button is right here, and this is the only Garmin GPS that takes regular AA batteries. So you could simply slide this out there. So you have two. These are rechargeable batteries. That doesn't necessarily have to be rechargeable. And the one that goes to the bottom of the GPS will have the positive sticking out, and the one that goes to the top of the GPS, see, this is the top of the GPS, this is the bottom. So the one that goes to the top of the GPS, you will have the minus or the negative sticking out. That's how you put the batteries. Now we put in the cover, just the regular battery cover. Now this doesn't mean that because this takes batteries you can't use it in a car. You still have your car port car charger, mini USB port car charger. All right, so we plug it in and let's get started. To turn this on, you simply press the power on, and it's called Garmin i3, by the way. The name of this unit is Garmin i3. Press the wheel to continue. Now, as you can see these lines, for that, I'm using this filter to eliminate that noise so you can see better. Okay? All right. So let's get started. So one of the biggest problems, or I should say one of the things that I did not like about this little GPS is the fact that it doesn't have a touch screen. If you notice, the screen is not a touch screen. So every functionality is controlled by these three buttons. You scroll up, scroll down, press, and go back. Okay, so if I were to start navigating with this unit, I would make sure that where to is highlighted, and then I would press the roll, like that. Now, if I were to go home, I just press the roll. If I want a new address, you go to addresses, and then you have to select the state from the list of states, and let's choose California. Let's see, California, that's where I'm at, California, like that. So now I'm going to choose postal code, which is the one I'm looking for is 9, let's see, 9 1 9 7 8. Okay, now the house number is 10783 1 0 7 8 3. Okay, so that's the house number. Go back to done, and the name of the street is Hamasha Boulevard, which is Jamacha Boulevard. You starts with J, so let's pronounce Hamasha. In Spanish, J has the sound of H. There you go, that's the one, Jamacha Boulevard. So I'm gonna click done. Where is done? I have to find done. So 10783 Hamasha Boulevard, Spring Valley, California 91978. Now I'm gonna, if you want to go, start navigating right now, or you could say show it on the map, or you could say save it as favorites. If I want to start driving to this place right now, I will click start navigation now. But if I just want to add it as a favorite, then I will click this one. And if I scroll down, it says find nearby, find places nearby that place. So since I want to go to navigate there, I'm gonna click on start navigation. Now it's waiting for better accuracy because there's no GPS signal. I'm indoors. Okay, so that's how you start navigating with this unit. To view map, you simply scroll down to view map and then you press this roller, and that's your map right there. Again, this is off. I'm not there right now. That's because I don't have any GPS signal. It shows my last location. And settings, this is important to know how to set the settings. So let's go to the settings and see what we can do. Set volume. You press down the roll.
4, 5, 4, 5, 4.
So that's how you change the volume. You set the brightness, click the roll, and that's how you set the brightness. I'll set it at 5. And then the map, you click that, you have map detail. It has a, see, this has, if you notice, there's a little minus, and then it has branches. Each branch is clickable now. So we go to the map itself. See, let me click this again. The map has a plus sign right here. Everything that has a plus sign, it has sub menus. So when you click that, that changes to a negative sign, and then these menus are clickable. So now I'm going to go to map detail. If I want more or most, I want most detail. This shows smallest alleys and everything. If you choose most, I like it like that, so I'm going to choose most. And then, but you don't want to choose most if you're traveling in a big rig, a big truck or something, because you can't go to most of those little streets anyways. Why would you even care where they are? But since I will be driving a car, for me it would be great to have all of them. Now map view, you have either North app, 3D, or track up. 3D is a three-dimensional map, which I like. Basically the entire map will be like a plain field. For example, if let's say if this is the map, it will be like this, like a plain field. Okay, so that's how I like it, and I'm gonna choose 3D. But if you choose North up, then with the direction on the top of the screen will be north, and if you are going south, then your car will be going the opposite direction on the screen because you're going south. The north is up, so it will create confusion. And also when you're making a right turn, on the screen you will be actually going to the left when you're actually making a right turn, since you're north up. So a track up is only two-dimensional map view, but the direction that you're traveling will be on the top. But 3D is the best option in my opinion. Okay, so map source. Now map source, you have option shows you what the map you have currently installed. Right now this has CD Navigator North America 2017.10, which is a very old map, but you know it's 5 years old, 4 years old, but still not much will change in 4 years as far as the streets and roads. When a map gets old, it's not the streets that will going to affect your navigation, it's the businesses. For example, if you look for a restaurant, that the restaurant could be out of business 2 years ago, and you will end up there with a closed sign, or sorry, you're out of business, something like that. So that's why it's good to have updated maps. Okay, now we go back to map and we hit enter, go to system, hit enter. Now we have multiple options. Now, why does battery type differ? The reason why battery type differs because if you have an alkaline battery, it's 1.5 volt. But if you have a nickel metal hydride battery, it's a 1.2 volt battery. So if an alkaline battery at 1.5 volt shows 100% battery, when it reaches 1.2 volt, the battery is actually 80% empty. But for a nickel metal hydrate, 1.2 volt is 100% charged. That's why it's important to tell it what kind of battery you have. So I'm going to choose nickel metal hydrate battery. Okay. Now let's go to color mode. Color mode, we have daytime, which is all white, and then you have nighttime, which is like this, all dark, and then you have automatic, which is not up to you, it's up to the sunrise and sunset, which will change the GPS setting accordingly. So I'm going to leave it at daytime just since we are shooting this video. And then the GPS mode has multiple mode. You could say normal, GPS off, or these settings does not apply in the United States, but if you go to European countries, they have a different satellite systems. You could use these, but even in the European countries or in Russia and other Asia, other parts of the world, you could still survive navigating using normal mode. Okay. All right. So safe mode means that when the vehicle is in motion, you are not allowed to enter any information. You have to pull over. So if you turn it on, you're basically limiting your ability to enter an address while the vehicle is in the motion. Now for me, I turn it off because I'm not the one entering the address. My wife will be entering the address who's sitting right next to me, which does not endanger my driving. So I'll leave it off. Units is the one that you change between kilometers and miles. So I'm sure right now it's in statute mode, which is America and I believe America, England, and just like a couple more countries. All the rest in the world are metric. So that's what that is. Okay, now we go back again. Oops, now we have to go back to system. Okay, so we tried all of these units and all that. So now we go to the navigation. Navigation, attention tone, I always leave it on because it will give you, like, it gives you attention when there is something important for you to know. You're about to miss your exit, or there's point of interest about to arrive, or if you lost your satellite signal. So basically it's a tone that the GPS will ring to get your attention. So I leave that on. And then we have avoidance. Avoidance are the settings that the GPS will avoid. Basically, those are the places that GPS will not take you to. So right now, what do we have for avoidance? Toll roads. We don't want to go to the toll roads because it will charge you money. So if you don't want to do that, you check that. Now it's not checked. I allow it to take me to the toll roads because the box is unchecked. Avoid highways. You avoid highways if you're riding a bicycle, which isn't allowed on highways. You have to press that. You have to choose this like that. But I'm not, so I leave it open. Avoid carpool lanes. You have to avoid carpool lanes if you're driving alone and you don't have a companion. So that's when you avoid. Yeah, many times I drive alone, so I leave that checked. Avoid U-turns. You must avoid U-turns if you have a big rig, a big vehicle, an 18-wheeler, a bus, or a big, huge RV, which cannot make a U-turn. So you have to avoid U-turns. And when you do that, what happens is that GPS will never take you to dead ends where you have no other option but to make a U-turn. Okay? And then we have avoid unpaved roads. That's a no-brainer. If your vehicle is a lowrider or a sports vehicle which cannot take rocks and dirt roads, then you want to avoid it. But if you have a 4x4 or a something sports vehicle, or I should say a dirt bike or a Jeep or something that can go off-roading with it, you don't have to avoid that. Okay, so these are all the options available for that. We go back and we go route preferences. The route preferences, you hit enter. You have faster time or shorter distance. You have to choose. Faster time will take you from the routes that is fastest to get there, but not necessarily the shortest distance, because the faster time could take you from a freeway that goes all the way around to take you from point A to point B, will take you all the way around and bring you here, and much lesser time. But shorter distances may be a road that goes straight, but it's full of like red lights, stop signs, and speed bumps, or a very high traffic. So obviously this is a longer distance but less time, faster time. This is the one that's chosen right now. You could choose shorter distance if you're renting a vehicle you're being charged per mile. Then you need to choose shorter distance. Now, vehicle is the icon of the vehicle on the screen. So if you want sorry, this is not the icon. This is the type of vehicle that you'll be driving. If you are driving a truck, you have to choose a truck. A bus, you have to choose a bus, emergency or taxi. The difference is that if you choose truck, the GPS will avoid those areas where trucks are not allowed, or it has low clearance where your truck might hit a bridge or something like that. And same thing with the bus, or if you have an emergency vehicle, it may allow you to go to emergency lane, otherwise it wouldn't, that kind of stuff. So this is the time. You press that and you have to choose daylight savings, yes or no, time format, time zone. Daylight saving is a no-brainer. You know that in the summer and winter, spring and fall actually, not summer and winter. In spring and fall, the clock goes an hour backwards in the spring, and the fall goes forward. No, actually, it's fall goes backward, and then the spring it goes forward. So basically, if it's active, you choose it from here. Like you click on it, and you say on, off, or automatic. Currently, it's on automatic. And then only in Arizona they don't do the daylight saving. Everywhere else in the United States they do the daylight savings. And time format, you could choose 24-hour, you could choose 12-hour, or UTC time. Okay, so 12-hour is good for now. And then time zone, you could choose, where are you at? Well, this is not the time zone where you're driving. This is the time zone where your home is, where you're setting up your GPS, and that's where you choose. So currently it's Central. We are actually Pacific time, US, because we are in California. So I choose Pacific. And then language. Language is a no-brainer. You just choose the language of your text, which language of text you want. Currently English is chosen, but you have multiple languages to choose from. Now, let's go back. And this is about basically tells you everything about this unit ID, software version, audio version, and all the other good stuff. That's all in settings. As you can see, the bar right here, it doesn't go any up and down. That's all. So there's nothing else in settings. Basically, it's a very, very simple GPS. Doesn't have a lot of bells and whistles. I mean, it already had a lot for the size of this unit. It already had a lot. Now, when you choose where to, which I did in the beginning, if you were to go to like food, hotels, and more, you simply press that. You don't necessarily have to hit the address. You go to food, hotels, and more, and then you go to like food, and it asks you American, Asian food, what kind of food. Just say American food, and then it comes like, okay, Fridays TGI. You click on that, and there you go. That's your Fridays TGI. By the way, this place is out of business right now, so there you go. See how important it is to have your maps updated. They closed a year ago, closed down. When the pandemic hit, they closed down this place. So that's that. And then if you go back and let's say you want to go to Asian food, you click enter, and then it brings all the lists of the places available close to you. And same thing, if you need to go pump gas, you go to fuel, and from that you could choose where you want to go to Arco, 7-Eleven, or it tells you right here, tells you the distances of each one, like how far are each one of these places. And the one that you like 7-Eleven gas, you click on it, and voila, there it is, 10777 Hamasha Boulevard. Now, the phone number and the location for this 7-Eleven is still active. Okay, they haven't closed down. So that's if you're going to fuel and places. If you want to go to recently found, these are the places that you have been to. You click the bar and it shows all the addresses that you've been to. For privacy reason, I'm not going to click because I don't want all my friends' addresses to appear on the screen. And then these are the favorites, which you can add to favorites. And then these are the intersections. This is pretty interesting, because if you don't know the exact address of a place, you can put the intersection. Intersection means two roads crossing each other. So you put the name of this road and then the name of this road, and that will take you in the middle. This is the intersection. You put the name of two roads. two streets or roads. One of them could be a freeway. This one could be one of these two roads could be a freeway, and the other one could be a simple road. So there you go. And then this is cities. You could go to like big major cities. Let's say if you want to go to Las Vegas, you just choose Las Vegas. Obviously, right now it shows all the cities in California, because I have chosen the state of California already. So that's that. And basically, that's how you use this unit. And by the way, this is where you plug it in to your vehicle. As soon as you unplug it, it wants to turn off, but you can press the wheel to keep it on. Let me remove this little film. See, when you remove the film, see how the screen flickers? That's why I had this film. So this is for external antenna. I mean, believe it or not, this puppy is capable of hosting an external antenna. And right here is where the, let me remove this. Right here is where the speaker is for this. Basically, it has a small little speaker. And this is where the suction cup comes, which I had mounted right now. Like that. Which you put in your car. And voila, you got your GPS up and running. And this is where your, I'm gonna turn this off and show you something. Okay, this is where your SD card goes. SD card. Now this is a micro SD card, not an SD card, but you know what I mean. And this is where the battery goes, like I showed you in the beginning. You don't necessarily have to have batteries. You could use this power right here. And yeah, it's basically probably the smallest Garmin. You can hide it in your two hands. You could just hide it. That's how small this is. And yeah, this is one of the smallest Garmins out there. And they are very cheap, believe it or not. They are so cheap on eBay that you'll be laughing. Let me show you how cheap they are on eBay. If I were to go on eBay and search for Garmin i3, you can get one for 22 bucks. You can get one for 18 bucks. You can get one for 15 bucks, 39 bucks, 19 bucks. It's flooded. eBay is flooded with these puppies. And they're cheap. They're very cheap. You can get these, like they say, a dime a dozen. You can get these for a dime a dozen. And yeah. So, all right. I hope this video was educational and you learned a thing or two from this. And yeah, please make sure to like and subscribe. And if you have any questions, please write it in the comment section. Thank you for watching.